Hello, hello. So this video is about something very of one of my favorite topics. So there was a blog post that I wrote, and I really don't know when I wrote it, of some months back. I'm not sure when, but the blog post was entitled "I'll Open My Legs to That." And the funny thing about that post is that when you look on my stats for my website, um, that that's a frequently searched term, and I think it's a frequently searched term for, like, probably like internet porn or something like that. So if that leads into my blog post, I think, well, that's kind of funny. But I wanted to write about it because I know it's one of those things in that topic and the title, it can be easily misconstrued and very easy to not understand. So I want to talk about the background of that post and really where it really came from. So, some months back, and I think I really started this probably in January, I really started to think about, okay, what is feminine energy and what is masculine energy? How do they come together? Where do we see feminine energy? And not just in the obvious things. So, like, we know if we look at like an obelisk and a dome, obelisk is the masculine energy and the dome is the feminine energy. And we see that even in our architecture, and you can see it if you go, the Washington Monument and then the Capitol. You can see this kind of architecture, so they go hand in hand. So we know feminine and masculine, and they're always coming together in some way, shape, or form. So that's, when you plug something into an outlet. So in that sense, sex is everywhere. Sex is always going on. So that was obvious, but I was really curious about it, with women and with people. And I feel like I kept on feeling like there's a strong masculinization of women. And I think a lot of people say that, and that's pretty obvious. And some people say there's a feminization of men. And some people have strong arguments for that. And I'm not saying that's not true, and I think it actually kind of is in many ways. But I won't really get into that here. What I'm really paying attention to is, what is feminine energy? So I started to really kind of research it, ask the questions, do meditation. And so, you gather your answers in many different ways. So it wasn't just like one venue. A lot of it was through my own internal search and a lot of meditation, a lot of writing, just like writing in my journal, exploring the ideas, and dreams. I have some great dreams that show me what I'm really thinking about, and how these things can work. And then I started to notice it in men, certain men. So, meaning men who I really deem to be great men. They speak very differently about what they feel their role is as a man. And one thing I noticed, that men feel their role as a man is to serve women. Men that I respect, men that I really find like, oh, that's a great man. Their role is to serve women, really serve, honor, and protect. And so I thought to myself, okay, I like that. First off, I like it. But that means masculine energy is supposed to be in service to feminine energy. Meaning that's how they work together. And if you think about it, that doesn't make sense. It makes sense that masculine energy would be in service to feminine energy. So then I started to really contemplate it. And I thought about, well, then what would feminine energy need to do? Okay? Because masculine energy is all about going, 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 direct, direct, direct. And we know that. You think about that. It's all about direction. And feminine energy is all about what? Receiving. So if feminine energy is about receiving, how do we receive? How do we really do that? And I love magic, and I love metaphysics, and I love that idea, and just not even the idea, that the reality that our physical world is a reflection of the non-physical world. So the reason why you have things as rituals and symbols, it's because you are finding ways to translate the non-physical world into the physical world. So I think, and I don't like to have a lot of tools. I don't like to have a lot of things. I love crystals, but I'm not really into doing a lot of physical stuff. I like to work with what I have, so my body and just what's around me. So I thought about, okay, well, how do women receive? Well, a very basic way we receive is by is through our vaginas, through our yonis. I like the word yoni, so I'll use yoni. And we keep that, and we receive, and then we also nurture within our womb. So even if you're having a creative project, and then I'm an artist, and so some of you may know that and some of you may not, but every time I would work on a very large creative project, it felt like I was pregnant. And I mean, you couldn't tell me I wasn't pregnant. And I went through a real process. I would wake up in the morning like, oh, I would just feel it. You know, I'd feel like something was growing within me. And I'd work and work on this project. And then eventually, of course, I'd give birth to it. And I think a lot of women will say that, and a lot of people who are creative will say that. But in order to receive that initial idea, that spark, and that is masculine energy, I want to say, you have to be open to receive it. Okay? And if you look at our physical bodies, how do you receive masculine energy? So how does a woman receive a man in a creative process? And a creative process for us physically is through reproduction. So if you would receive a man, the man would come into your yoni, his penis would go into his lingam, if you want to say that. And, bam, 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 woo, 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 and then a baby can be created through that process, right? It's a creative process. So, but if you think about life, the one thing that you're always taught as a woman from a young child is that you close your legs. You always keep your legs closed. You always cross your legs. But yet men, their legs are often open and wide. It actually doesn't even make sense. So I started to realize that women, we are being shut down. Our femininity, our ability to receive is being shut down. Our ability to create is being shut down. And the only times that you actually will open your legs are really for sex and to physically reproduce. But we don't really see the power of our bodies. And as I'm saying this, you can't see it, but my legs are opening because every time I talk about this, I physically respond to this. We don't see the power of our bodies being able to receive. So when we have these ideas, when we want to create something, we don't really know how to make that happen. But I want to tell you who does know how to make it happen. And if you look at corporate America, and if you look at anyone who's on the top, it's always going to be that top person. Okay? Because some people feel like it's a man's world, or that it's ruled by men, and it's patriarchal, and I actually will disagree. Feminine energy is what is essentially on the top, but men are the ones who are embodying feminine energy. They are the ones who, for the most part, they're the ones who are being served. And that's why oftentimes when women start to go into those higher roles and those top positions, and they still try to keep a masculine energy, they have a harder time. They have a harder time because the thing that they have not been taught, if you ask me, is to receive. So when I wrote that blog post, I'll open my legs to that. What I was calling women to realize that your power is really being able to receive. And you can actually, and if you try it, I want you to try it. I want women to try this. Get in your room, open up your legs, which is why I'm in my room right now. Open up your legs and receive. Bring that energy in. And if you look at my hands, my legs are open and I'm bringing that energy in. Whatever it is that I want to bring forth into this life, because we are creators. So whatever you want to bring forth into this life, you can do that. You can bring that energy in through your intention and through this physical gesture of saying, I'm ready to bring this in and nurture this idea and then bring it forth to life. Okay, because that's what we are. We are creators. There isn't a single person on this earth that can't say their mother didn't create them. And if you do say it, you are silly. I don't mean to insult you, but think about it. How did you come into being? You can attribute it to God and all, that's fine. But understand that the person who really created you was your mother in her womb. And if we have the ability to create like that, why aren't we using it for other things? Because in many ways, whether you realize it or not, our education system and the ways that we have been taught through, maybe it's religion or not religion or your culture, it's been to shut down the knowledge of that power. And then only a few are the ones who are really using it. And that few are the ones who are typically in higher positions, and they need people to do what? Serve them. And that's masculine energy. Okay? So oftentimes you'll find women who really move forward, they're very masculine. They're very masculine because what are they always doing? Serving, 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 serving. That's a masculine trait. We nurture, that is true. We are nurturers and we're givers, that is true. But to do it to the greatest of our ability, we need to be served. We need to be protected. We need to be provided for. That's how masculine and feminine energy interact with each other. When you have that imbalance, you have exhausted women. You have exhausted people. You have people who are wandering around lost and confused, because if a woman isn't really bringing in that energy and opening up and receiving, you have masculine energy that doesn't know what they want to do with themselves. They wander around lost and confused. Why? Because they don't have that magnet, that negative polarity drawing them in. And therefore they aren't living up to what their energy is really calling them to do. And then feminine energy isn't really living up to what our energy is calling us to do. And this doesn't matter, if you're gay, straight, or whatever. If you feel more feminine, then you need to be receiving. And if you feel more masculine, then you need to be serving. You're going to find a greater balance in your life if you allow yourself to do that. And a lot of women have a hard time, especially women who have been raised to be so independent. I'm superwoman. They have a hard time. They'll start to have struggles in their lives. Why? Because they don't know how to open up and receive. So in that blog post, and I'm going to, of course, link it in the comments in that little section, the info section below. That's what this is really about. It's about knowing your power as a woman and also knowing your role as a man. And really what I want to say is whatever energy you feel you embody the most. So if you feel you are more masculine, then understand that that is your role, to serve, to honor, to protect, to provide. And if you feel you are more feminine, it is to receive, so that you can do those nurturing things and those giving things and those loving things. That's what we are able to do, and those creative things. We create. I mean, that's freaking amazing. We create. So if you understand energy, and we both have masculine energy in us, we both have feminine. So it's not like I'm without masculine energy. Of course I have masculine energy. I mean, I spent most of my time being more masculine than feminine. And it really wasn't until I started to realize, hold on, I'm having a hard time receiving, that I had to open up my legs and really start that process and really start bringing in that energy. And every time you see my arm go up, it's because I'm bringing in that energy, because I know the power that I have with this womb, with this physical gesture of saying, I'm going to open up and receive. Because when I do that, I'm giving direction to masculine energy, and masculine energy needs direction. Okay? Because we work together. And just as I need to receive. If I'm not receiving, I'm not in my greatest place. That's just how it works. So think about it. Think about it. And read the post and open up your legs, ladies. Know what you're opening your legs to. And that's the other aspect. If you understand that you are able to receive, especially you're able to receive through your physical body, what are you opening your legs to? What kind of energy are you opening your legs to? So be conscious of what you are saying that you're going to bring into your life. Be conscious of it. Because that's the other thing. Regardless of anything, you are a feminine being, and that means you're going to be receiving. But sometimes you're not receiving what you want because you have not taken the time to be conscious of what your power really is. So sometimes if you think that there's no such thing as good men, if you think that the weather is horrible, or if you think that life sucks, guess what you're bringing into your life? Guess what you're bringing in? If you're a man and you think that, guess what you're serving? Guess what you are serving? So think about it. Think about this. So with your intention, you can shape and change your entire life. And with your knowledge of who you are and the energy that you're working with, you can really start to shape things, right? Okay, that's it. Ah, I'm so glad I did this post, and I would love to know what people think about it. But yeah, I'll open my legs to that. So think about what you'll open your legs to. I know what I'll open my legs to. What will you open your legs to? Okay. Love, love, love. Kisses, kisses, and hugs.